Mhm.
This meeting is being recorded.
Well, hey, everybody. Welcome back to Buddies on Buddies, a show with two real life buddies talking about buddy action comedy movies. I'm Kenny Lane.
I'm Lucas Hill.
And this is the Buddies,
Buddies
on
on
Buddies
Buddies
show. All
podcast,
right.
video
Yeah.
podcast.
Woo.
We
All
go all
right.
night. We go all night.
No, 40 minutes, basically.
40
Then we get cut off because we don't want to pay that extra
We're not
fee
going
to
to spend any
subscribe
money
to
on this.
Zoom.
No.
Yeah. No, 40 minutes and that's it. How you
I'd
doing,
rather-
buddy?
I'm good. How are you, buddy?
I'm not too bad,
Sounds
man.
weird. You say
Yeah.
buddy so naturally.
Sounds weird.
No, when I say you say buddy so naturally, like you mean it. Hey, buddy, how are you? When I say I'm like, how you doing, buddy? Like I'm talking down to you, like I'm the captain and I'm walking by the guy mopping the poop deck.
Yeah. It's definitely patronizing when you say it. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm not your fucking buddy, you fucking fuck. With me, it's like, God damn, I am that guy's buddy.
Yeah.
And that makes me feel good.
I'd buy a car
Yeah.
on that guy. Yeah.
Exactly.
No, I've been fine. Wheels are,
Mhm.
we were talking earlier, and I think it's about as we get older, we start disliking life. Like we want more,
I think
didn't-
you're projecting.
I
I don't
maybe.
do that.
I didn't. Well, you can't be happy.
Why can't I be happy?
Never mind.
No, let's work it out. Okay, I'll be your therapist. Okay, and why can't you be happy, Lucas?
No, I mean, you could not possibly be happy with your lot in life right now.
My lot in life right now. What's wrong with my lot in life? I got a nice girlfriend. I have a place by the beach. I work at a golf course, get free golf. I don't know. Enlighten me why I'm so depressed, I guess. How about you? How the fuck can you be happy?
I'm not. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, then why? Then you should fucking explain why you're not happy.
No, I'm happy. I just don't like to work.
Doesn't sound like it.
That's like the therapist.
Yeah. Not buying that. You're depressed as fuck. Yeah.
That's not what these books behind me are telling me. I just don't like to work. If I could just not work, I'd be pretty happy.
That's a lot of people's mentality right now,
Yeah.
I believe. It's just like they don't like work, and can you blame them?
Yeah.
I can't blame them. Well, at my place I work at, like the golf course / restaurant, like it's hard finding people to work like as like dishwashers or like groundskeeper or something like that. But it's like, and everyone comes in, they're like, some days we have to close actually because people call in. You can't have a restaurant without a dishwasher. And they're like, this is an outrage, especially like such a tourist town. So all these people come from out of town and stuff. And it's like, well, the dishwasher, we don't have one. And they're like, that's ridiculous. It's like, do you want to wash dishes? I would never. So it's like, so then you should understand why we can't find one,
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. It'll be interesting, but hey, that's not what we're here for. We're here for buddy
Oh,
action
yeah,
movies.
sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, should I tell what movie we're covering this week?
Yeah, go ahead and get into that, and then we'll talk about what movies we've watched besides the movie we're covering.
Sure. This week we're watching the 1996 New Line Cinema release, The Long Kiss Goodnight, starring Gina Davis and Samuel L. Jackson, directed by Rennie Harlan, which is the second appearance by a director on our show after Skip Trace. This is the 2 for Rennie Harlan.
No director deserves it more. Before we get into that,
Absolutely.
what have you watched that's worth mentioning since? I don't know.
It's been a couple weeks. Yeah, it's been a few weeks. I saw Elvis. at the theater here.
I haven't watched it
Neptune
yet.
Theater.
I'm looking forward to it. So no spoilers.
Yeah.
But did you like
No
it?
spoilers. Well, it's the first movie I've walked out on in about 3 years. I think the last ones were the last Terminator and last Star Wars movie. I did not walk out on it, I'll say though, because it was terrible. Like those other movies, I just couldn't sit through. It was like a Sunday. It was a long week of working, and Megan and I went to it. Where I just want to go see any movie I have like half an interest in to support the theater and stuff around here. But I knew it was gonna be like 3 hour long biopic. I got like 2 hours into it. I was falling asleep. I was like starting to snore and shit, and I just wasn't digging it. It was not terrible. I thought that the guy was okay as Elvis. Never really bought him quite as Elvis, the real presence. Tom Hanks, though, I will say this is like the first really bad Tom Hanks performance I've seen in a long time. He's horribly miscast in this as the Colonel, and or Colonel what's his fucking name?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, whatever. And he fucking gives this like fucking like weird like German Hungarian accent the whole time. And it's like this kind of squeaky little. I think Elvis will be okay. Like doing Dr. Evil or something. And I've read that guy. I've seen that guy in interviews. He does not talk like that. He was this kind of like larger than life kind of good old boy. So I don't know what the fuck he was doing. I don't really like Baz Luhrmann's direct. I don't like that. I like Baz Luhrmann. Yeah,
he's a lot. Yeah,
it's just that frantic kind of like bombardment of shit. I just find really cheesy. I don't like Moulin Rouge or Romeo and Juliet. Yeah,
the only reason I care about or want to see this movie is because it's Baz Luhrmann, because Tom Hanks is giving this insane performance under a mountain of makeup. Yeah. But then I got it on VOD. Yeah. And it's like 2 hours and 40 minutes long. I'm like, Jesus Christ! I want to watch it for camp value, not because I'm going to be engrossed.
Well, yeah.
Epic tale.
Well, it's like that Alexander Oliver Stone movie. This would be a great camp movie if it wasn't fucking like 3 hours long. Like at some point, you're just like, okay, fuck this. But it wasn't that terrible. It was okay. They glossed over some of Elvis's when he meets Priscilla and shit.
We got enough Elvis. I want to see it too. So I appreciate your opinion.
Okay, I don't want to. Oh shit! I don't want to spoil. You don't know about Elvis. Don't give me any spoilers about fucking Elvis Presley's life.
You are just like my.
He dies. By the way.
But you are just like my mom. And it'll be any movie, and I was like, okay, but don't tell me about it. I want to see it, so I don't want any spoilers.
Yeah,
you don't know what happens to Titanic. I don't know what happens in this version of Titanic. Of course, I know this
version of Titanic. You think they're all gonna be like Tarantino, gonna take this wild, crazy twist with it? Like, of course not. It's a fucking biopic.
I don't know. Billy Zane's gonna be the villain, for instance. Maybe that's something you spoiled for me.
Maybe I fell asleep. Oh, we're talking about Titanic. Fucking Elvis. I was like, I fell asleep.
Was Billy Zane the villain?
yeah. Comes out and shoots Elvis at the end. It's like, wow, what a twist.
Did you watch Prey?
No.
I liked it. I don't know if you'll like it. I didn't love it though.
Yeah, I've heard very mixed things about it. Does the Native Americans, do they talk in like
no, they just speak English.
Like American?
Yeah, they just speak English. And then they have
contemporary American thing.
They have like a karaoke dub or some bullshit like that, but it's just a dub.
Yeah.
Well, they're American actors.
I thought the premise was dumb. I mean, I guess you couldn't probably hide the fact if it was just released without any Predator kind of things, like in the trailer, is that it's Predator. But like it was just released without it. That might have been good. But like I just think like rolling out with like Native Americans versus Predator is like a stupid concept. It's like Predator's gonna win.
I disagree.
I think it's kind of a stupid concept.
It's all Predator all the time. So I give the movie credit for that. The main thing.
What does that mean?
I mean, there's no bullshit. It's just Predator killing things and going. And it's really faithful to the Predator whatever lore
legacy or something.
Yeah. But I couldn't get past the CGI fucking animals. There's a lot of animals.
They're really distracting. Yeah.
CGI to me, it's just too distracting. Like, well, I just don't give a shit about any of it, because it's cartoon. Yeah. I'm watching a cartoon, but whatever. I don't want to talk about
that movie Congo. Yeah.
Well, Congo, they weren't CGI. They look great.
Well, that was the thing. Was like, I guess they tried CGI.
Oh, animals I remember that.
And monkeys. Yeah, start looking at shit. So it's like, but now they still haven't mastered that. Fucking almost 30 years later, it's crazy.
Hey, did we talk about? I wish one more movie. I don't remember if I talked about it. One False Move.
I've seen it before.
But we didn't talk about it on this, right? Yeah.
No, you saw that. You saw that.
Really cool. I've seen it before too, but I rewatched it. Really cool fucking 90s thriller. That movie's awesome.
Been a long time for me to see that, but I was pretty impressed as far as like I think it felt like did Billy Bob Thornton direct that? Or no, it was Carl Franklin.
Yeah.
Carl Franklin directed that. And it's a really good little like indie like crime movie from the 90s. It's not trying to be Tarantino.
Exactly. It's its own thing. It's crazy about is the first 10 minutes are hyper like really uncomfortable violence. And then, so you might lose a lot of viewers just off the first like 10, 15 minutes. But then the way that's plotted and everything, it works out great with these crazy criminals coming to a small town with the small town sheriff played by Bill Paxton. who's great.
Yeah.
It's really
Well,
good.
and the story unfolds. You
Yeah,
don't know where
exactly.
it's kind of going as far as like that's like I so many movies you know exactly where they're going in the first fucking 5 or 10 minutes. So to actually see a movie like wow, I don't know where this movie's kind of going or how
What's
this
good about
wraps
this
up.
movie is you
Yeah,
have a pretty good idea that they're going to converge in this small town, but it takes its time getting there, and
sure.
it's always entertaining
Yeah,
and interesting and believable
yeah.
how it all comes about. It's great. Highly suggest it.
Yeah. Last one I'll mention is another 90s movie I just watched. I just watched The Sixth Sense again
Mhm.
for the like second I haven't seen it since it came out 23 years ago if you want to feel old. Yeah, and
That's how
it's
time works.
yeah. And I forgot, well I just remembered it as being this like really good ghost movie with like with a neat twist. Oh, Bruce was dead all the time. But watching it again, yeah, I can see why it was like nominated for like Best Picture and stuff. It is so like I forgot how like emotional that movie is. There's
Mhm.
so much like human drama in that, besides like the jump
Oh,
scares
the
and stuff.
conversation with his mom in the car at the end, like
Yeah,
that was
the whole movie. The whole movie's like that, and it's also fun knowing the twist because I never watched it after I saw the twist. It's like, well, what I've seen that, but like knowing the twist, seeing how Haley Joel Osment's character interacts with Bruce Willis,
Mhm.
like spoiler, but but he knows he's a ghost right off the bat, and all his dialogue is like basically referring to him as a ghost, but you don't catch that the first
Yeah,
time.
that's why he's not taking him seriously as a therapist, because he knows he's a ghost at first and everything.
But
Like,
then he like gets like trusts him and starts like you
right.
can't leave me, so
Yeah.
like, there's a lot of that like really interesting layered stuff. You can really see why people went nuts for M Night Shyamalan,
Shamalan.
uh
Da,
Shyamalan,
da, 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 da.
and I liked but like then it just is like oh my god this guy's gonna be the new Hitchcock, and then it didn't go quite that way, but still like that guy.
Jordan Peele reminds me of him in his early career because
Yeah.
all his movies are strong, but they don't really hold up under scrutiny. Like,
Well, Jordan Peele's interesting because like that movie Us, like I loved it. I thought he topped that. Then when I saw it and thought about it, I was like, that movie makes no fucking
it won't
sense
fucking sense
at
at all.
all. But at least it made enough sense within them watching it that you kind of went with it,
I think he gets, because he is a very good director. Like,
Yeah.
as a writer, I've so many times I've written stuff. This is cool. This is cool. And wait a second, none of this would fucking make any sense.
But none
You
of
know,
it
and I'm
makes sense.
fucked. Yeah,
Exactly.
but he just
Yeah.
like powered through and then directed the hell out of it.
Hi, babe. Yeah. Megan just got home. Hi, babe.
Hi, babe.
All right. She returned it. That means she
Good.
loves me.
Good. That's a good day.
Yeah.
All right, you watch.
Okay. Well, just jump right into the long kiss goodnight.
I like when you
What's
become like a
that?
Nickelodeon VJ or
So we just jump right into the crazy adventure that is Long Kiss Goodnight. Here we go.
you want to give the plot?
Is it my turn to give the plot?
I don't want to do it.
Okay. Well, it's a woman who is in New England. She has amnesia.
A suburban mom who suffers from
Thank you.
amnesia discovers that she used to be some kind of government agent, spy type person, and her past catches up to her.
Okay, it's good enough.
It's more of a tagline than
than a plot description, but like it's basically lifted from a lot of those Robert Ludlum novels, like especially the Bourne movies, where it's
literally lifted from a Bourne.
A spy with amnesia that slowly learns what their past was and who they are, basically.
But didn't they literally lift this from the Bourne and just change it to a woman because they couldn't?
Well, I'd have to ask Shane Black that. Like, did you just rip this off from the Bourne novels? Because those
should
were
get
out,
him on the show.
Years before. Yeah, we should. Well, he's a patron saint of buddy action comedy.
Yeah,
movies.
he really
You'd think
is.
he'd watch it.
I don't. I might be able. No, probably not. What did you?
Right now, Megan is crawling around to avoid the light. She remembers the last time. It's okay, babe. You can get in front of the light. It's fine. Okay. Anyway, she's feeding the dog, but it's like, yeah, it's fine.
That's great. What did you think of Long Kiss Goodnight?
What I think overall, I think it's
Rewatching it.
Well, at first it was kind of clunky, especially with the voiceover narration and all the stuff going on. Like it just didn't seem. It seems so contrived. And like it cuts to like the guy in the mental hospital, like seeing that her on TV and everything just didn't feel like this. I don't know. It just kind of seemed like very clunky, kind of a mess. But as soon as Gina Davis and Samuel Jackson met up and it starts getting into all that and the constant one-liners and all that stuff, then the movie kind of like started working for me. And I think it's a pretty fun movie. I think it moves. I think it's got like a lot of good action, a lot of silly shit in it. I was thinking that actually this movie going into it, because I don't remember it being very much a comedy. I just thought it was like, this might not qualify as a comedy, but there's so many of those Shane Black one-liners like Nice Guys or Last Boy Scout or one of those that I think it does qualify.
Slow down.
All right. Well, what did you think of it?
I used to love this movie, and I haven't watched it in years, and I did not really like it.
Yeah.
Could have just been,
Really?
where I was when I was watching it, just like a Tuesday night watching this movie, more or less dead sober. I did not like it.
Yeah.
Well, there's anything bad. I didn't buy Gina Davis as the tough woman. I didn't.
Not at first. I thought towards the end there's some really cool shots of her with like holding the rope, firing the Uzi and shit.
I like that part. The split personality thing was weird, and then what happened? It's abandoned, or they merge as one or something. Because at first she's two different personalities. She's Bobby and the suburban mom, or Charlie, or whatever the fuck it was. And she's trying to seduce Samuel Jackson, and then all of a sudden they just kind of abandon that, and then she's like, "What? Both of them? Do you know?" Did I miss?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Well, I think there's a lot. The script apparently, like Gina Davis and Rennie Harlan, like it supposedly was one of like the greatest action scripts of all time, or something.
It was the highest script ever sold. It was $4 million
ever sold at the time.
In the 90s.
Yeah, because Shane Black was just so hot at the time, and also was because Rennie Harlan, initially was coming off a Cliffhanger and Die Hard 2, which were just huge hits, and Gina Davis was coming off like League of Their Own. Then they made Cutthroat Island, which was, I think it actually holds the Guinness Book of World Records still as like the biggest box office bomb of all time, like adjusted for inflation. And so I think they took that script and kind of kept tinkering with it. So I don't really know exactly how much was left in the script that made it into the movie, but I think Shane Black still has a producer credit, so I don't know.
It's supposed to be, the original is supposed to be way more fucked up and violent and stuff. Yeah. What is with these directors who put their wives in movies and makes them all and sexualizes them as if they're like showing them off or something like that, like Kevin Smith did in Clerks 2. These are just a couple examples because a lot of directors do this shit. I just think it's very weird.
Well, I think the femme fatale role, I mean, they're just like playing that up. They probably did that with other actresses growing up. I'm going to show off her body, make her all sexy. So it's like, why not my wife? She's like, this, she's an actress. Why wouldn't I do that? But it is a little strange when like you think about Sing, where you're directing an actor to put his tongue or her tongue in his ear. And you think about how that went down. Like, it's like, okay, now nibble on his earlobe. Okay, now really go after him. That would be a little strange.
I also noticed they walk away. I don't know if they had budget constraints, but they have these cool set pieces and they last like 2 seconds, like when the ice skating scene.
That was a little strange. I think that actually was something else. Actually, in the it was supposed to actually go on for a long time. Like she was supposed to be like this. It was supposed to end with her doing this like super double triple axel thingy, like from ice skating and shooting guys upside down. They did like big flip. But they didn't have the time, or they ran out of something. And then, but it just almost feels like, why is that scene there? But a lot of this movie is like that, where it's just constantly throwing in shit, one thing after another.
They didn't have enough fun with her being a suburban mom and having all these powers. Like they dragged the daughter into it and everything. But I would like to have seen it more focused on that town and her trying to cover up her past life while maintaining her social life as a suburban mom in this community. I thought there was opportunities there that weren't.
They could have made the whole movie about that first section, making like a slow burn where she slowly starts learning who she is and what happened, versus just like the kind of like with the voiceover narration, just want to get that exposition out right away. And we want to get her with Samuel Jackson on this adventure right away.
And they did have great chemistry. They had some of the best chemistry of any of the buddies. You really believe these two people like each other, would sacrifice each other, one another for each other by the end.
They did, but they probably had one of the weirdest relationships or oddest, I don't know, of what we've seen now. Like, it's not romantic. It's necessarily like Bird on a Wire or something, where it doesn't really count, where it's like, that's not really a buddy action comedy because it's like a romance going on. But they do kiss at one point. And there is some sort of like she tries to seduce him at one point. So there is a very odd like relationship going on here, I thought.
I thought the villains sucked in this.
You mean Craig Bierko?
And who's a guy I don't dislike as an actor. He's never really gotten his fair. Well, they've tried with him.
What's he been in? I mean, like he's in that little.
Wasn't he in Dark City? Wasn't that he in Dark City? Wasn't he also in? Wasn't he the main character in Dark City?
No, that's a different guy.
Okay, well, he looks like him. He also looks like the guy from 30 Rock. I don't know if you watched 30 Rock. He looks like one of
Not too much of it though.
And wasn't he?
I can't really think of.
Wasn't he the comedian in Sour Grapes? The Larry David. The lead in that. He might
have been in Sour Grapes with that guy from Wings. I don't know, but I didn't really mind him. I thought he was a very peculiar villain. And
I just hate like she's like, "This is your daughter." And he's like, "Oh, yeah, let's not worry about that anymore." It's like
his line readings were so weird, and like, "I'm gonna look into your eyes," and like he looks in their eyes like, like, I don't know. He was just such like an over the top, but also being coy and playful. I thought it was just such an odd character. Like it didn't really, I don't know.
And they also did the stupidest shit over and over again where they left her alone to die. They must have done it like 3 or 4 times in this fucking movie.
There's a few really bad like Austin Powers cliches where it's like, I'm not going to actually witness you dying, but I'm just going to assume everything went to plan. There's also a lot of like crazy moments that just don't make any goddamn sense as far as like just for the sake of a big action sequence. Like when they're in the hallway, the grenades are thrown, and then they run, and they just run down the hallway, and then the grenades cause a fireball, which grenades do not cause fireballs, and then they look back and they're outrunning the fireball.
That's
like, and they jump in the window. Yeah,
it was just Rennie Harlan all over it though.
That is definitely Rennie Harlan touch. And then the other thing where like they're torturing, Samuel Jackson, because every Shane Black movie has to have a torture sequence. And then she blows up the building that they're in, and then it shoots him like through the window like 50 yards out into it hits a tree, and then he's still in the chair, and he gets up, and there's immediately like throws a knife into a bad guy's
and like he's a private eye or whatever. What is he throwing knives for?
What the fuck's going on?
Is he trained too?
Well, how did he survive? Well, you got blasted. 50
the tree broke his fall, remember?
Well, no, but you were sitting in a house. There was an explosion, and you were blown like way out the window, and you're totally fine.
Yeah, I don't think it is a comedy. Yeah. There's some lines, but I think it's pure action movie.
There's a lot of like dad jokes. It's constant dad jokes. As far as like the like Last Boy Scout too. It's like there's so many fucking one-liners and snappy shits. Like Samuel Jackson, their banter is just constant like jokes.
Yeah, I just don't think it's aged well, the comedy aspect. So I don't know. Oh yeah, the villain also did the plan at the end where they did it twice. Both villains.
Will they tell you the whole plan?
Yeah, like here's the plan. I gotta go. What's about? Well, I'll tell you the plan too.
I will tell you though that was kind of fucking crazy because this movie came out 5 years before 9/11, and they talk about basically like a terrorist. They faked the World Trade Center.
Here we go.
Bombing.
Here goes Kenny.
Here we go. They faked the World Trade Center bombing to get more fund. These government agents.
Yeah, I know. I know.
More, funding for the government, which is like one of the number one like 9/11 conspiracy theories. Not that I buy into it.
Okay.
But I thought that was
like
kind
to bring it up a lot.
But that was kind of creepy. When do I bring 9/11 conspiracies up? Never. And anyway. Like so, but that was so like weird to see like this guy going on a 9/11 rant in a movie that came out 5 years before 9/11.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't like this movie. The effects haven't aged well at all either. Like especially at the end, it looked horrible. Like complete green screen / cheap CGI. It was really weird.
Yeah, well, a lot of the jokes too was like he saw something on television.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Well. He said he saw something on television that disturbed him. It's like the bad guy's like, yeah, it's called Baywatch Nights. I'm like, wow, what a 90s reference,
They say bitch like a million times in this movie, as if it's like a joke or like to show how edgy we are. We're calling a woman a bitch. Constant, get that bitch.
Well,
bitch.
Bitch. This, but I gotta give it credit though. This was like years and years before like the female action movie thing really caught on in America, at least. Like, I mean, it just was like, this was like a big budget, like female action lead movie. So I got to give credit for that as far as that goes. I mean, it was, before like Charlie's Angels or Lucy or any of that shit came out. Like this was like one of the first ones to give a big budget push.
Well, Cutthroat Island just came out before it.
And bombed horribly. Well, Rennie Harlan, Jane Davis, that was their goal with these two movies. They wanted to make like push, but this one didn't do that well either.
The
became a cult movie.
The music and score were distracting, I thought too.
I didn't really pick up on the score this time, actually. Like, who did it? Do you remember?
No, I don't give a shit about scores.
Well, you brought it up, so I was like, who was the?
Maybe I should have looked into it.
Composer? Yeah. Score sucked. Who wrote it? I don't fucking care. He sucks dick.
I don't know who edited it either, or who the cameraman was. I'm a very surface level. Look, I'm doing a buddy action comedy podcast. All right, this isn't a Criterion Collection.
You want deep dive into this shit? That's fucking nerd out.
The ending too really bothered me. It was like reading some published author where she gets the call from the president. Oh, Mr.
Oh yeah. I thought that was the part of like the goofy charm of this movie. It's like one of those kitchen sink fucking things, and they just keep throwing shit in there, and it just keeps going and going. You're like, oh my god, really? Wow.
I guess because I haven't seen it since I was probably early 20s, and I just thought it was a really cool fucking movie. So I'm watching, expecting it to be a really cool fucking movie, and it's just 90s trash action.
Well, that's Rennie Harlan. If you watch Cliffhanger or Die Hard 2, this is much more aligned.
Cliffhanger, I can appreciate for what it is. This
it's still pretty goofy,
like a
though.
Cool, funny movie with some badass action sequence. I was horribly let down and underwhelmed by this film.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
I guess that's surprising to hear, because a lot of these, like, I thought it moved actually pretty fast. It was kind of a fun watch and stuff like that. I hadn't seen it in a while.
It's better than a lot of the shit we've watched on this channel as far as entertainment value is concerned, but it's still not a good movie. Like, for all the reasons I mentioned, all the Bond.
Oh, well, yeah. I wouldn't just like throw this movie at anybody. Like, hey, it's a really cool action movie, The Long Kiss Goodnight. But like, as far as like the movies we covered and stuff, I was entertained by it. I do like it's definitely, you can tell Shane Black did write the script. How much they monkeyed with it or not. I mean, the Christmas time setting, they shoehorn in a fucking kid, torture sequence, constant fucking one-liners, buddies. I mean, this does definitely fit into his repertoire.
No, this kid, for all his movies, was far less precocious and more realistic. She's crying, she's scared, she doesn't know what to do. She's actually a child character. All his other children characters are way too fucking smart and weird and producing milk and shit.
Fun fact, that kid, remember the movie The Nice Guys that we covered like not too
I read that she was in that. Yeah.
She's in that. She's at the porno party. She's that girl, the porno actress that she comes up, the young girl again comes up and talks to. That's the girl from Long Kiss Goodnight. But I thought actually she did kind of annoy me in this movie. Just her constant, just like, wake up, mom, what's going on? It just seemed like this, just there just to be in peril, basically, and just add to the stakes, which is kind of like, okay.
And then they don't even do anything to her. They lock her up in a cage in the truck, and then she's just out of the way, so she didn't even have to be there.
Yeah.
Don't put kid characters in your movies, guys.
Well, Shane Black does not listen to that. He can show us a kid character every fucking time. Well, Samuel Jackson, he said this is his favorite role ever that he's ever done. What do you think that would be?
Well, as an actor, he's fucking chewing up the scenery like crazy. He's just he's delivering these lines that are
what about this role, the role though, like that?
Well, I like the role until he's throwing knives into people's heads, because he's way out of his element. He's this loser PI who can't even really see his kid. He's a thief and a con man, basically,
right,
thrust into this world of crazy fucking action, and becomes her sidekick because she's the one who's capable. But then they undercut all that with some moments where he's just as Superman as everybody else in the fucking movie.
Well, I get that, but I think maybe could be because like a lot of times he plays like larger than life characters who are like dominating everything. So this one, he's like the normal guy that the audience can kind of like relate to and bounce off in these crazy circumstances or something.
He's the best part about this movie.
He's really great in this movie. Like, and I dig most of the stuff, like his work. Well, before he just became in fucking everything, but do you know that Gene Davis and Rennie Harlan, we talked about this before, they were married before this movie came out. They got divorced the day after she filed for divorce, that she found out her personal assistant was pregnant with Rennie Harlan's baby. Is that a fun fact?
Not all fun fact, but a fun little tidbit. It
Yeah,
doesn't surprise me just by the way he directs. I don't know. There's something about him.
You just see that he's fucking her personal assistant, like that. That's I can tell.
I was watching with Mary. I was like,
Cutthroat Island.
Dollars to donuts.
Yeah, this guy is fucking her assistant.
Well, good for both of them. You know, the assistant too.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah. It all worked out. It was great.
That's pretty fucked up. How do you get to that point?
I don't know.
I just not adult enough, you know, when I hear about adults doing things like this, you know.
Well, I imagine like Schwarzenegger sitting down with Maria Shriver and being like, okay, so that kid that's been running around our house, you know, that's the maid's kid, that's my kid.
Yeah.
Just so you know, I've been lying to you for like, 10 years. And or with like, this kind of shit, like, how your assistant's pregnant, that's my kid. Those are probably hard conversations to have.
Yeah.
And keep your cool and win the day.
If I go to the store, I'm a little scared of everything, because any type of confrontation, anything,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, excuse me. Oh yeah, you take that. Yeah. I couldn't imagine living a life where you have all these webs woven to where anything can fall apart.
Sit down with your life partner and say, now you're going to fucking hate me, and your whole world is shattered. And I
sit down and go, look, Friday afternoon, I might play golf with a friend of mine. Okay, only
you hope,
with it.
Yeah, and you cross your fingers like it's not going to be a big deal.
Yeah. Of course, she doesn't care what I do, but I just still, it's like so insane to me. People live like that.
Well, I guess that level.
Well,
maybe at that level, you just get so like cocky or something, and it's just like it's
probably a lot of cocaine involved.
Maybe, but yeah, I don't know, but it's I don't know.
That's really like the danger. I don't know. It's not like I haven't done horrible things like everybody else, but some of these things are just like, yikes.
Yowzer. All right. So what did you learn from The Long Kiss Goodnight?
I learned that this movie didn't make me feel anything. And I don't know if it's the movie's fault or my fault,
Yeah, it's like you watch like on a blank screen the whole time. It's just like
it just felt nothing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this becoming a chore? These buddy action comedy movies for you?
No.
Is that what's going on? No.
Movies are never a chore for me to watch.
Okay.
I love movies, even the bad ones. I always find something. Even in this one, I just didn't feel anything. I guess I really like to feel something. Maybe I need to fuck someone's assistant or something.
And then have a conversation with Mary. Then you might. Then you'll have a fucking feeling.
Oh, I'm living here.
I'm alive.
Maybe that's why they do it. Maybe it's Harlan just got it all figured out.
Yeah, I gotta break up this monotony a little bit. I need just to fucking throw a complete fucking H-bomb into my whole life.
What did you learn or get from this movie? How did it change your soul?
Change my soul. Well, I realized that I really like any movie set at Christmas time because I think I really like Christmas. Mm-hmm. As Megan says, I have a boner for Christmas. Oh. And so
quite the articulate girl you got there.
Yeah, she's great.
She's a real Dorothy Parker.
She is a Dorothy Parker. That's why I love her. She's got a little little spitfire, little sass. But I've noticed that like I kind of wish all movies were set at Christmas time, even ones that don't. Even like movies like Goodfellas, like when I see the Christmas sequence, like this is great,
What about like a Halloween movie set during Christmas time?
Like The Night Before Christmas or something?
God damn it. The second I said it. I guess it's been done.
Well, there's been horror movies set at Christmas, like Black Christmas or something, even like Gremlins or something. But like, I still love it. I still think it's great. Yeah.
What about The Ice Harvest? That was Christmas, right?
That's a pretty dark one. Did we watch that together? I remember renting that like in LA when we were roommates and stuff. Did we watch that together?
I don't know. I remember loving it. I don't remember who I watched it with, but
I've
Yeah,
seen
I
it
think
since
we
held-
watched that together and we held hands throughout
Yeah.
it, and we just sat there and we watched. it.
and we finally said, you know what? I'm down to like Christmas now, even though I never had a good Christmas before. But yeah, if you are a Christmas fan, watch that movie and it'll just warm the
Watch it
cockles
with
of your
the
heart.
family.
Watch
Me and
with the
my family, we watch
Next
Ice
Christmas.
Harvest every Christmas.
Every Christmas. Yeah, it's a very fun, heartwarming movie. Well, I think that actually is a pretty good one, but I do remember that Randy Quaid, as the surprise villain at the end, does utter the lines where he's about to shoot somebody, "Prepare to die," which I always think is not cliche
In
at all.
Ice
And also,
Harvest? I don't remember that.
Nice
at all.
Harvest. Yeah, he actually has a gun on someone and says, "Prepare to die." So that's great.
That is nice. Is there
Mhm.
anything else you want to go over? Is there anything else you want to talk about? Any tidbits? Anything worrying you?
Well, what we covering for next week?
There you go. We are doing by high demand from Kenny and Kenny alone, Armed and
Yes.
Dangerous.
Yes, I've been dying to do a John Candy movie. Love the
Are
John
you sure
Candy.
this isn't just a pure comedy though? I haven't seen
Well,
it since I was like a kid and I barely remember it.
That's another thing too. I want to kind of discuss with you because I think we should be covering because there's so many very buddy action comedy movies unmistakable, and we've had a few in there where we kind of debated, is this a buddy action comedy?
Mhm.
That we probably should be going off script too much when there's such a selection to choose from. So I do remember there are like there's like shots fired.
No
explosions.
spoilers. No spoilers. You're doing
Okay.
it again. We'll just watch
Yeah.
it. Look, the good thing about this whole bullshit is it's completely low stakes and we can do whatever we want.
Yeah.
How would you rate we'll do Armed and Dangerous?
Megan looks really cute in my Star Trek shirt, by the way. I
That's
wish
great.
she would come on the show, but yeah, she just came by.
Audience isn't big
Anyway, I
enough.
just want to point that out. Yeah.
Hey, what would you rate this? Long Kiss Goodnight.
Well, see, I have much different experience than you, I think, because I watched it with Megan, because I thought she doesn't like these movies, but I thought she might like a female protagonist kind of one. And we both kind of liked it. We both enjoyed it. So, and she's not like really into like the cheesy 80s, 90s action movies and stuff. I usually always watch these by myself. So I would say like 4 out of 5, just because like I thought it had a lot of action, filled a lot of boxes. Is it a comedy? That's a stretch a little bit. But I had a good time watching it. So I guess we just had different experiences. How would you rate it?
As a buddy action comedy, because the comedy was so low, but the relationship really hit. There was a lot of action. None of it didn't work for me. It's aged poorly, I think. It's kind of stilted, a lot of camera cut. Anyway.
I'll give it for that. It's not like aged that well, but it's
Yeah.
very 90s. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll give it 2.5 out of 5. And then as a movie, 2 out of 5. I really don't like it, except for Samuel L. Jackson
Really?
and some of the other.
Yeah. Wow,
I'm
you didn't
sorry.
like the plot? What about Brian
I didn't.
Cox? You know, like
Yeah,
Brian
it's great
Cox?
to see him. He shows up and they kill him off. And it's like, fuck, man.
Well, yeah, he's Mr. Exposition. He has to come in and just fire off
And
everything.
even
that's
you, like the
going
villains
on,
go and give the exposition at the end. 2 of them in the last.
There's a lot of exposition dumps that are kind of like, wow.
If you're giving exposition dumps in the 3rd act, your story's in trouble. I think. Like, here's what's going on. Like, yeah, but you already know that unless you're
already know what's going on. Yeah,
but yeah, it's
right.
So yeah. Anyway.
Well, sorry,
Guess that's
it didn't work for you again. Yeah, but just wait for Armed and Dangerous. I think you're gonna fucking love it.
I think
Eugene Levy, John Candy. It's gonna be fucking amazing.
Well, those are 2 funny fellas.
Yeah, and given the right script, watch out, man.
So
watch out for your funny bone.
I know. I better wear a protector, a cast, or whatever. So what were you saying earlier about 9/11 being an inside job?